Nice.
On the 10th of December 2023, I had uploaded a video talking about a new meta on Twitch. This new meta involved a level of suggestiveness. I couldn't release the video until the 13th, and the reason why is because YouTube took that long to get this one approved. The new meta in question, with the sexually suggestive nature of what was being presented, was a direct violation of Twitch's terms of service, which I did in that video show the terms of service that were clearly being violated. It is quite common over the years for many to push the envelope with what should or should not be acceptable on the platform of Twitch. One of the 3 users I showcased in the video had been banned multiple times. Of course, the word ban means soddle on Twitch. You mean suspended. They really do need to implement a strike policy akin to that of YouTube. They really should. One of the users, Morgpie, did not at that point get any consequences for what was seen as sexually suggestive. Now, other people have pointed out to me, because I don't have breasts, that the claims that are going to be made in videos I'm going to show you are a fundamental lie because of the nature of what the body was doing that would indicate that yes, they were topless. We will get to that soon because this is quite important. In fact, we're going to start with a video and work our way through others, all of which tweeted by Dexter2, because Dexter2 secured an interview with Morgpie. We're going to go through the consequences for Morgpie and Twitch, who themselves have made some changes to accommodate for the new meta thought. Do you call them the new age thought laws? How about that? Does that work? Dexter2 put out 6 tweets covering very specific clips to talk about terms of service and what the streamer Morgpie was doing before that consequence was doled out. The consequence includes being banned. Now, I don't know how long the ban is for at time of recording. Hell, if this doesn't get through YouTube's monetization, or it takes too long to get through it in the first place, she could be back on the platform before this video even goes public. Thank you, YouTube, for taking your time. We're going to go through each of those videos in turn and address parts that I believe are inaccurate.
You know, my ban, one of the reasons they listed was a lap dance. I'm the only one here.
In the clips that were being shown, you were, when people followed, subbed, or donated, doing a little dance for the viewer. That might be the semantics part where the claim of you violating TOS for lap dancing comes from.
So I'm not really sure how I could have given anybody a lap dance. But that was one of the reasons they listed in the ban that I received. So I think, honestly, they are just cracking down on this new meta.
Well, there was considerable blowback, and we are somewhat impressed that it only took them 5 days to actually act on it. Twitch are quite crap at the best of times, especially when you pull in as many viewers as you do and generate as much money as you can. I do think there is a point about whether or not it is or is not a lap dance, though. There is a point there. But if we go by the basic definition of what a lap dance is, you can argue it was not, and that you were simply performing as part of your show, which in and of itself can be argued to be gaming. Although if memory serves, some of the tags, which I think are in the previous video, I'll link it in the pinned comment, showed you as doing gaming, just chatting, and other AI thing, I think, as well.
And their toss is very open-ended, so they're not giving anyone, you know, nobody's breaking toss. Nobody is breaking the terms of service.
But I've already proved in the last video, without a shadow of a doubt, based on terms of service, you had actually broken the terms of service for implied nudity. There is a genre that can skirt it in the form of body paint. But at that point, you had violated terms of service because you'd oiled up your chest and were doing dance moves. Things were moving in a way that would indicate there was no clothing on below the camera frame. I had some of my Discord server members that are female point this out to me because I don't have chesticles, honkers, norks, so this kind of knowledge does not come to me naturally.
Me standing here like this, it's just shoulders. And by the way, I am wearing a shirt. I do wear a shirt and pants in all of the streams.
I'll be honest, I had no doubt you were wearing trousers of some kind. I did not believe, and I don't think many do, that you were wearing a top at all. The only thing we know with absolute certainty is sales of baby oil may have gone up slightly for your shows. On to video number 2.
So I can pull up the screenshot I took. It says engaging in lap dances. Again, I'm the only one here, so I don't really know how I was doing that. The other one was describing a sexual experience in graphic detail for a prolonged time.
So Twitch have this rather unique ability, one I'm not a fan of. It's the ability to police what you may say on alternative platforms. You are quite active on alternative platforms. I have not seen the clip of that claim, but it is also possible they have policed what you've done on, say, Twitter and determined that to be haram. You're going to accuse them of having vague terms of service. They are vague. All terms of service on every platform are vague, so that they can then decide when the court of public opinion gets to have their voice. In this instance, though, you did violate TOS, but it was for implied nudity. The lap dance part, that one's new to me. And the describing, your coitus activities, yes?
Every single one of these kinds of streams that I've been doing, I was playing a video game the whole time, the whole stream. So I don't really know where that one came from.
I won't deny I do recall seeing you play video games, although in a somewhat interesting twist, you were on the majority of the screen, the video game was in the corner. Very small, I might add. It was a very different version of a Let's Play. The games were retro, and I was very happy to see retro gaming, but I'd have to full screen and then try and crop you out of it to see the game itself, since you and your bazookas took up a vast majority of about 90%.
This is the one that I understand. Okay, the final one that they list. It says, making explicit gestures towards breasts, buttocks, or genitals on stream. That one I can kind of see, because when I would get like a donation or a sub, I would do this, right? And I'm clapping my hands.
Fam, you put your arms above your head and did a Numa Numa dance. Things moved in a way that would indicate that they were free. Considering the size of your chest, an item of clothing would create a crease or a dent somewhere. But that wasn't the case, was it now? No. You did more than just a clap. Unless you were clapping them together, which was a different streamer entirely.
But that looks like something else. But I am clapping my hands. And I do, throughout my streams, I do lift my hands up to the camera, too. There are a couple where I'm like, yay! But throughout the stream, several times I do put my hands up to the camera. So I was trying to make it like, oh my gosh, what's she doing?
Yes, it's called sexually suggestive, and under Twitch's TOS, that's a violation. The titillating aspect, pun intended, would have undoubtedly driven up more interest in donating to you because simps be thirsty. It's quite impressive, really, how thirsty they are, as if they can't watch anything like that anywhere else on any website that exists. Because that kind of stuff does not exist. It's totally mythical. And also, haram! On to video number 3. In this, she throws shade at Amaranth. I think it's quite important to air that one.
I think there are constantly people on the platform that abuse the very vague terms of service that Twitch has. I think whether I'm doing it, some other girls doing it, some guys are doing it.
While I have no doubt there are some guys that do it, they will no way ever achieve the level of success that you could achieve, even if they went and bought themselves a pair of fake boobs to do it. Why? Because no one finds the guys anywhere near as interesting if that's what they do.
Like, Twitch, they don't want sexual content. I think a part of the toss does list that certain, like, sexually explicit content isn't allowed, but people stream sex in video games all the time.
You're right. There are even streamers who draw nudity, and they should also probably be in a little bit of a separate discussion for another time. The artistic aspect is a tricky one. The video game one, though, is context-based. Don't forget here, Twitch is meant to be a game, or started out as a gaming platform. Sex in certain video games in the context of the game makes some sense.
People do have sexual discussions on the platform constantly, men and women. They allow sexual content, but at the same time they don't. And I think that with the vagueness of the toss, people are going to find loopholes regardless, because they do allow sexual content and sexual themes on the site.
Now that was seen as a direct shot at people like Amaranth, who had addressed this by on Twitter saying, "Hot tubs aren't the reason I'm wealthy, nor is poking holes in toss. I was making $500,000 to $600,000 a month on OnlyFans before hot tubs were a thing, and probably an aggregate $750K a month, including other sources by 2020, saving the majority of the windfall, investing it and grinding. She was not impressed. Although it should be pointed out, there was a lot of outcry about the hot tub streams, and at that point I do believe there was an argument about them being a violation of TOS. I think there was, but it was addressed by Twitch, who made changes to the terms of service to account for them. We have one more video concerning Morgpie, and I want to go through a few tweets after and updates.
I probably won't be doing the topless stuff until I kind of see what the platform does.
You know that was a bit of a Freudian slip, right? Because everyone knows you were actually topless.
Ultimately, like, are they going to start implementing stricter 18 plus guidelines? Are they going to outright ban all sexual content? Just to see what's going to happen there. But it looks like the topless meta is still happening on Twitch. But for now, I'm definitely going to take a back seat and just kind of watch and wait.
On the 13th of December 2023, Twitch made some changes, posting via an article updating our approach to sexual content and content classification labels. Scrolling down to the frequently asked questions. Question: what is changing with the update? Answer: some types of content that were prohibited will now be allowed on Twitch if appropriately labeled. These include content that deliberately highlight breasts, buttocks or pelvic region even when fully clothed. Fictionalized, fully exposing female presenting breasts and or genitals on buttocks regardless of gender. Body writing on female presenting breasts and or buttocks regardless of gender, and erotic dances that involve disrobing or disrobing gestures such as strip teases. Changes to popular dances, for example twerking, grinding, pole dancing, are now allowed without a label. Question: with the updates to the sexual content policy, are artistic depictions of nudity allowed? Answer: content with a focus on fictionalized sexual body parts regardless of gender are allowed with a sexual themes label. Question: body painting doesn't matter. How does Twitch handle nudity in gaming? Answer: two ways. Games featuring nudity, pornography, are entirely prohibited. Second, for games where nudity is not the core focus, the mature rated games content classification label is sufficient. So Twitch have essentially created an avenue for this new meta of thought to exist. In the last video I made it quite clear that everyone I covered linked to their Instagram, linked to their Linktree, that linked to their OnlyFans and their blow up dolls. Not a joke. It was the same pattern. It was intentionally baity to get people to go and look at their adult content because they couldn't grow organically with the adult content, because all markets are oversaturated. But when you're able to push the envelope with a new meta, you're able to do it in such a way that you can then drive up interest in your own hustle. And I understand that. I do understand that 100%. As a creator, I would should of course, seek to ask people to consider supporting me on Patreon more often. I don't, because I'm a crap e-beggar. But I try. That's how it works, right? Since this announcement from Twitch, Morgpie has said it gives creators much more freedom while also keeping this content from reaching the wrong audience. Bravo, Twitch. Yes, congratulations on catching up with current year meta. Now, Morgpie, prior to her ban on Twitch, had actually been doing a charity stream for Doctors Without Borders on her Twitter on the 11th of December, showing this, but also once being banned, trying to find out from Twitch support, which is hilarious, how much she raised so that that could be donated. Later confirming that the money raised, she knows the amount, it will be donated and it will be posted. I won't deny my favourite thing about this entire new viral topless meta nonsense or artistic nudity was Coppercab. Finally, my time has come. That is the world's sexiest, soulless mother fluffer in the world, and everyone should go follow Coppercab. My view on this has always remained the same. If Twitch are going to permit it, that's fine, but don't be surprised if they have to then create more channels, more avenues when this dries up and a newer meta takes its place that becomes more extreme. A precedent set, a dangerous door opened, even a crack can be flooded, eventually oversaturated, that will then lead to more problems down the line. Others said that Twitch, all they need to do is create a 18 plus area. That's fine. Or create another platform entirely, a hub perhaps, where this adult content can reside. But it wouldn't work. We all know it wouldn't work. So Twitch it has to be, right? Yay. I'm on Twitch, by the way. I play video games. Go follow me. Please. Thank you.